Good morning. The Kent debacle has become more than a local embarrassment. It's now a laboratory demonstration of why Reform UK remains fundamentally unprepared for the responsibilities of government. What was presented in May as a bold new experiment in anti-establishment administration has curdled into a rolling scandal. Suspensions, expulsions, internal intimidation, legal threats, tribunal preparations, and a parade of individuals who would never have survived even the most basic forms of professional vetting. Let's begin with the numbers. Reform captured 57 of Kent County Council's 81 seats, an astonishing victory that overturned 3 decades of Conservative rule. Within months, they have shed 9 councillors. That is not renewal. It's organisational collapse. A governing group that loses roughly 1 in 6 of its members before its first budget cycle has not discovered a new model of politics. It's exposed its own lack of due diligence. The catalyst was the now infamous leaked video. The public watched the council leader, Lyndon Kemcaran, swearing at her own members and ordering them to suck it up if they disliked her decisions. This was not a single moment of intemperate language. It revealed the internal culture at the top of the so-called flagship reform authority, hierarchical, brittle and contemptuous of dissent. The fallout was instantaneous. 5 councillors were suspended in the initial purge. Some were dispatched on the basis of gossip, opaque allegations, and processes that bore no resemblance to natural justice. Others were linked to a WhatsApp group or accused of encouraging dishonesty in the context of no-confidence discussions. Yet even these accusations were marred by contradictions. When Councillor Isabella Kemp offered to surrender her devices for forensic examination, Reform UK refused. She was expelled anyway. That refusal is telling. It suggests that the internal investigation was not forensic. It was theatrical. The purpose was not to discover the truth, but to punish whoever dared to challenge the leadership or raise concerns about governance. Kemp's claim that the expulsion was triggered by her commitment to integrity and transparency now appears far more plausible than the party's official narrative. Then there's the case of Maxine Fothergill, expelled on the basis of something entirely unrelated to the leak. Reform's post hoc justification rested on a previously undeclared defamation case from 2017. If this matter was truly disqualifying, why did their vetting process fail to uncover it before she became a county councillor? The answer is simple. Reform went into these elections with a vetting system so threadbare that it allowed through individuals who had unresolved legal histories, undisclosed personal issues, and in some cases a documented track record of behaviour incompatible with public office. That brings us to the more surreal corners of the saga. Councillor Robert Ford, who was removed following complaints from female staff, not about conduct in his public duties, but about his authorship of an erotic novel. This fact alone should have triggered higher scrutiny long before he found himself on a county council influencing multi-million pound services. Instead, it took Reform UK until October to realise they'd selected someone whose side project could become a reputational liability. Rather than let that happen, preempt it, make a fuss, and then everyone's turning pages. The cumulative effect of all this is an administration now unable to run its committees. Meetings on children's school transport appeals collapsed because chairs have been suspended. Committees overseeing adult social care are paralysed because their leaders have been removed. This is not the politics of renewal, it is administrative vandalism. Kent Council doesn't work anymore because the people who were elected proved to be, in Reform UK's administrative decision, incompetent or incapable. Well, we knew that. You make good with what you've got. Meanwhile, Kemkaren remains defiant. Her comparison of the councillor exodus to the dropout rate in her son's military training was extraordinary. It was not only inappropriate, it reduced elected representatives to recruits who must submit to discipline rather than colleagues who must scrutinise power. Her behaviour was confronted directly in the chamber with questions about whether she met the Nolan principles. Her one-word answer, yes, displayed a striking disconnect between her actions and the standards expected in public life. The opposition parties, especially the Lib Dems and Labour, have made the obvious point. Kent's administration is not merely eccentric, it's dysfunctional. Council tax decisions are delayed. Budget planning has stalled. At least one Conservative councillor has declared the situation the worst he has seen in 40 years of public service, and the public knows it. Residents now openly speculate about whether this administration can survive until Christmas. This is the flagship of reform. This is what a reform government would be like. This matters beyond Kent. Reform presented these councillors as a showcase for national power. Nigel Farage declared this experiment the proof that his movement could govern, yet what we see instead is the predictable consequence of amateurism. This party has elevated the wrong people, failed to support them, and then turned on them the moment internal pressure increased. Whistleblowers face expulsion. Conscientious members are branded disloyal. The leader deploys military metaphors to justify purges, and the party's national leadership insists it backs her 100%. The conclusion surely writes itself. Reform UK is already collapsing under the weight of its own contradictions. This is not a party ready to govern. It is a party that cannot govern itself. And the tragedy is that the people of Kent, who entrusted them with a £2.5 billion budget, now find their services in the hands of an administration that has lost control of its membership, its discipline, and its credibility. This is what a reform government would be in practice. Reform promised a new kind of politics. This is our new kind of politics. Chaos. What they've delivered is an object lesson in why competence, temperament, and character matter. When inappropriate individuals are selected for high office, when power is fused with ego rather than service, the results are precisely what Kent is experiencing. Chaos, fragmentation, and a governing culture that is neither serious nor sustainable. Kent was supposed to be the model. Instead, it has become the warning. Be advised.